Here we go, here we go. Oh, all right.
There it is.
There we go. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to OK Bud, the podcast where everything's gonna be okay, bud. I am Ben Kissel at Ben Kissel1, joined by Jerii Aquino.
Hello.
At Miss_Jerii and Kyle Ploof.
Hey.
At Kyle Ploof. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/diebud. We're in the beginning stages of building a really cool set. So we're going to be just like all them bona fide podcasters that you see on your little screen, on your phone, on your Instagram, and on your YouTube. Mm-hmm. Won't that be cool?
That would be nice.
Also, okbudpod@gmail.com. Shoot us a message. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know what you think. Send us pictures of your animals, your dogs, whatever it is you want to share. For those that look on my Instagram, you'll know Jerii, my dog, he is in the hospital right now. He was mauled by a big dog.
Aww.
And he'll no longer be able to hear out of his left ear, which I say gives him an excuse not to listen to me.
Oh my God.
And his face was ripped off and scalped, and he has a hole in his skull. But the most important thing is he is alive, and I'm going to get him back. And it doesn't matter how much money is spent because life is precious, and you can't put a price tag on that, but you can.
No.
But you can.
You can't.
But they do.
But you can.
They do.
They do.
I mean,
The offices do.
They will,
They do.
but you shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
But they do. All right. Well, also, it is. This is the Pride Month, and if you really want to have fun, first of all, if you're out there Pride protesting, this is also their month. This is Pride Protester Month and Pride Month, so it's the month for everybody.
Pride Protesting Month and Pride Month. Wouldn't that just coincide under the umbrella of Pride?
No, because people protest Pride.
Yeah, they're like, you shouldn't be gay.
Oh, this is
You're sinners.
So this is
right.
It's
So
a busy
we're-
season for everybody, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes.
We have room for the homophobes too this month. Huh?
Taking up space.
Happy fucking Pride, guys.
You know who wins is the people who make cardboard signs. And people who make markers, because that is big. There's a lot of cardboard signs and a lot of markers being sold in this fine month of ours. So have fun out there and go enjoy
I
the
am
time.
human,
Also,
Jerii, and I do not endorse this message.
if you don't like Pride Month,
I don't like the markers and cardboard.
you don't like markers and cardboard.
Yeah, that's
So you're saying Staples is the big winner here?
homophobics don't deserve cardboard and markers.
Okay, all right, there you go. Fantastic point of view. And I agree with it 100%. 100%. All right, well, speaking of people and death, let's discuss Gilgo Beach, the serial killer, Rex Heuermann.
That creepy giant man.
He big
Yeah.
man. And he has a bad impression for all big men.
Yeah.
We're all not like that. So there's more information coming out about Rex Heuermann.
Uh-oh.
Oh, really?
Obviously, he's the Gilgo Beach killer. There was a gal, her name is Kaylin Morales, and she realized that she had old footage from 2023 of this guy on the LIR train around 7:45 p.m.
Oh.
And it was very bizarre because the train was completely empty. She's sitting there, right? And then Heuermann, plops down right next to her, despite the fact that the train is totally empty.
Oh.
Right?
Wow.
So this is not good. This is like
Never a good sign.
Never a good sign. If you go to the bathroom and there's a series of urinals, every man knows you want to have distance between each other's penises unless it's absolutely necessary
Yes.
and you're at some kind of sporting event.
Even still, you can wait.
Wait? Sure. So she's sitting there. She's minding her own business. All of a sudden, Heuermann, he sits right by her, and he's a big old fucking asshole, and he's 61 years old. And she says, I just thought it was weird. I just thought he was a big, fat, ugly white man.
Oh, wow.
And then she says,
Don't hold back.
I obviously didn't know who he was at the time. It was just weird, so the rest of the seats were empty, and he sat right next to me. She says I was on high alert at that point.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was on high alert.
Yeah, I mean, that'll do it.
Absolutely, that will do it. So she felt uncomfortable. She's from Bayshore, so she's used to feeling uncomfortable, no doubt about that.
I'm crying.
Yes, and she said, what the fuck is going on here with this guy? She doesn't like him one bit. So she says, just in case, for my own safety, I was like, let me get some evidence of this person.
Ooh.
Okay. So she brought up her Snapchat.
No way.
Yes. And then she captioned it like, why the fuck is there mad open seats and this guy sits right next to me and can't stop talking to me like I literally can't ever catch a break?
And he's got a Miller Lite
fucking
tall boy.
crazy.
That was the big surprise.
To take the edge off.
Indeed.
Oh my God, he was planning an attack.
He was planning something.
Yes.
So the entire time, as Kyle said, to make it even worse, he was holding a 24-ounce can of Miller Lite.
He doesn't deserve Miller Lite.
Well, I thought that would actually be perfect for a killer.
Fucking creep, dude.
I think that Miller Lite is a killer's beverage.
That was my grandpappy's favorite beer.
Well, your grandfather was probably a murderer.
It's possible.
It is possible. It's
Very,
vile.
yes. And of course, I also believe because Jeffrey Dahmer did most of his murdering in Milwaukee, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
the home of Miller Lite,
Oh.
he probably also had a lot of Miller Lite.
Light is gonna get upset at us for endorsing murder through their beer.
I don't think they care.
Okay.
So the video then cuts to a close-up of Morales' face, which shows her frowning. She's like, what the fuck is going on? Why is this guy here? And that's her.
Oh my God. He looks like he's taking pictures of her snooch.
He very well might be.
Oh my goodness. She's got her leg up. She's showing a lot of leg.
Well, I think she has the phone like in between or like on the side of her legs. I think that could be like the outside of like her left leg.
Yeah.
Could be.
I think she's. I don't think to this guy she is shining a camera through between her legs.
No, that's his camera, and I don't believe that she's presenting anything to him. No, I think she was sitting there trying to make it home on the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah.
No, seriously, that is so creepy. Oh God, I hate that.
So, another video captioned, "The cracking of a new drink is crazy. Crying emoji. I simply can't."
God, New York women are just the fucking strongest. They're the best.
Well, she could have whapped him in the nose like you did to that one guy.
Yeah, no, seriously. But it's awesome because it's like she's here in like life-threatening danger, and then she's like, "Oh my God, can I not catch a break?" Like FML, like, crying emoji.
It is crazy because she literally is sitting next to, unbeknownst to her, the most infamous serial killer in New York history.
Like insane.
And he's just drinking a tall boy, being very creepy, but you never know just how creepy a person can be.
Wow.
Insane.
So in hindsight, she's like watching the news and she's like, that's the guy that drank the tall boy next to me on the LIRR.
Holy shit.
I knew I didn't like that guy.
I knew he was weird, and indeed he was.
Yeah.
She says, I could have moved, but I was like, is he going to say something else to me? Like, I just don't want to interact with this man any further. Everything about him was sussing me out. So then she said, so I thought the best thing to do was ignore him and put my AirPods in and look out the window.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
Oh God, I would have gotten up and moved.
Well, she says that she didn't want anything to trigger him because I think
Damn, she
Yeah,
like
'cause-
she felt the murderous energy. She didn't know,
Exactly.
but she like knew.
she knew.
Because people are like, oh, who cares? He's probably sitting down isn't really that bad. It's an aggressive move.
It
to
is
sit
aggressive.
right there. It's a
It is.
very aggressive move.
It is an aggressive move. I've-
Completely empty train, and dude just sits right there in the space where he's looking directly at her.
yeah, seriously. That's
so creepy.
weird.
Exactly. So she says when she saw the news break that he was the killer, she says, my heart immediately sank to the floor. It was literally the craziest feeling. I couldn't even believe it.
Yeah.
And this is
Oh,
crazy
my
too. 'cause
Lord.
He's probably also gathering information because if this is a girl that he sees on the train again,
Oh my God, he was maybe following her.
seeing where she gets off, he got off before her because he gets off at Massapequa and she's taking the picture of him getting off the train.
That's fucking.
So he knows that she's further away, which is better for him because he's been dipping all these bodies out there, dumping them out,
Yeah.
far out.
He's also drinking because, I think he committed most of his murders while drunk. So he's like, I'm going to be drinking so then I have my drink memory. So then after 2 Miller Lights, I'm going to remember everything about her.
Yeah, seriously. Miller. Imagine blacking out on Miller Lite
It takes a lot.
to murder.
It take a lot.
That's so much.
Yeah. I mean, gallons and gallons and gallons of this stuff.
How much acid reflux do you need to commit a murder?
But anyway, just so you know, you never know who you're going to run into on the subway.
You never do. You never do. And that's why no one trusts nobody. It's anytime anyone looks at you on the train, everyone has a pretty instinctive feeling to be like, hey, what are you looking at?
Yeah. You can't even die on the train without getting molested anymore.
Literally.
True. That's true. And isn't
Yeah.
that sad?
Yeah.
It's devastating.
We live in.
Tragic.
I would still rather run into Rex Yorman and not be, if I was a hot chick, and not run into my ex-boyfriend or girlfriend.
I'll take ex-boyfriend and ex-girlfriend.
You're going to do that? But,
yeah.
I mean, Rex Uerman, he's just going to sit there.
Yeah, no.
But the ex-girlfriend or boyfriend, they're going to talk, and it's going to be the whole thing.
Yeah.
You'd rather do that?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. The old murderer versus the ex-boyfriend in the forest thing, huh?
Question as old as time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question as old as the day.
I would rather sit there and be like, no, you still can't have the cat back, all right? I won the cat fair and square. Than, be afraid for my life.
You think cats are up for, they're there to be won or lost?
Well, sometimes custody battles are intense.
I completely agree. I was speaking with somebody who actually does divorce lawyering, and they said they were very, very close to having this entire case solved. The entire divorce was going to be settled, but there was a hiccup over who was going to get the toaster.
Oof.
And that derailed the entire thing. It was like millions of dollars. And they were like super upset because of the toaster.
The toaster. Maybe it came from it was a family heirloom.
I think it was just a toaster. I think it was just more. I think it was bigger.
Just a toaster.
It's like an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. It was bigger than the toaster.
Yeah. I see. Yeah.
It wasn't about the toast at all.
Never about the toaster.
Well, let's move on to a man that really, really loves pool floats.
Okay.
Yes, and it's not good. He doesn't love them. He likes to rub himself on them.
Oh.
His name is Christopher Monin.
Oh, no.
This is the face of a man that would like to molest pool floats.
Indeed.
He looks like Oscar the Grouch if it was a real person.
Yeah, a little bit. He kind of got that dumpster vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe can survive off of a series of different cans that are half emptied, but still enough beans in there to give you sustenance.
God, he's creepy looking. His eyes can't even find the camera.
They're too close together.
He's got to know. You got to look at the camera, pal. This is a mugshot. This is your one chance to make it. This is going to be big. This is make or break. Come on. So, a man, he has admitted to sexually gratifying himself with pool floats.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, and like in the privacy of his own home,
No,
I imagine.
that's the problem. No, that's really where it's an issue. It was a months-long burglary spree, and it netted him dozens and dozens and dozens of inflatable pool floats. But he didn't buy any of them.
Oh, my God.
He's
They're not even that expensive.
They're not. They are not that expensive. But he didn't care. He wants everybody else's float. That's the only way he can come.
Okay.
So he has a bunch of felony convictions. And so this guy, he knows what's up. He did a plea deal. It resulted in a downward departure in part because he requires specialized treatment for a mental disorder that is unrelated to substance abuse or addiction. So I think he's a little bit in the head. He's a little wacky.
Yeah. There are people who are actually attracted to inanimate objects. Mm-hmm. This sounds like one of them. There was a woman that was on like My Strange Addiction or something. She married a roller coaster, and she was like laying on her back, just licking the bottom of it.
I saw that.
How do you marry a roller coaster?
You just say we're married now.
You get it done.
That's it. Like, yeah, like you can't. Who ordained that?
No one.
Six Flags.
The church didn't recognize it.
Yeah,
the
it
church
doesn't
didn't
sound
recognize it.
very recognized.
No.
Not even by the roller coaster.
No, the church didn't recognize it.
Yeah.
So they say he needs to have a different type of treatment because his brain's all weird. So a judge sentenced Monin to 2 years of community control.
Community control?
So he doesn't have to do service. The community, he's got to control him.
Oh, right.
Kind of putting the work in our hands.
That's weird. It also kind of sounds like he is like given power. It's like it's time for you to control the community.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, he has, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's collected all of our floaties.
Yep. No
So
pool float.
He has us all right where he wants us.
Exactly. No pool float is safe when Monin comes around groaning. So, what community control is, it's an intensive form of probation, kind of like house arrest. So you might think, oh, that's going to be horrible. He's going to be under house arrest. How's he ever going to have sex with everybody's pool floaty? Well, it turns out after they searched his home, he had 75 pool floats in the house, including a lounge chair with cup holders, a watermelon float, a duck float, and a float shaped like a piece of bacon.
Nice.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
He also had a stolen Shaquille O'Neal branded Shaq inflatable lounger. So he liked to
Damn.
have sex with that.
That's cool. I mean, honestly, this all sounds absolutely not the having sex part, but all these floaties in general. Like I just keep on imagining myself just lying down on them in a pool.
Well, yes, but then this
a
guy.
lounger? That sounds nice.
It is nice until this guy comes rolling around,
Starts to fuck it.
then starts to have sex with it right there in front of you.
Would you be offended if he was staring at you but just looking through you because he was looking at the float?
What?
You're like,
what
you
is that
creep,
even?
stop looking at me. He's like, no, I'm looking at the float.
I'm
Get
not
off
looking
it.
at you.
Get off it,
You
pig.
trash human being. I'm looking at that plastic that's all
Not.
blown up.
Yep. That's hilarious. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me get out of your way.
Yeah, God forbid.
My bad.
I don't want to get in the way of me and this, of you and this bacon float.
Here I go again, thinking everything's about me.
Yeah.
So he was involved in a lot of different thefts, mostly involving floats. And then also in 2017, he was arrested for loitering and doing a thing called prowling.
Oh.
So he was
okay.
prowling.
Do you think he was going to escalate to like the rubber slides and everything that people bounce down?
You never know where they're going to go. Even if you get one of those little soft tubs, can't trust that.
Can't trust that.
No, you can't trust anything when you got this moaning guy around there. So anyway, he can't leave his house, but then also like he's probably going to.
Yeah.
You know, also why?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's got his 75 pool floaties in there, I guess he doesn't really have to.
Yeah, he already has he should be able to keep those floaties.
Yeah.
Of all the crimes of 2025, this is not the one that I'm gonna stress about.
I'm just gonna stress a little.
Why?
Because if I saw him in my backyard humping the pool floaty, I would feel like it's more personal. I'd be like, that's what's next.
Well, you don't have a pool or a floaty.
My parents do.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
And floaties. And if he does that in front of Laura Kissel,
yeah. Oof.
she's going to say,
Laura.
Benjamin, you won't believe it. He was humping the pool floaty, and I told him to get out of here. My mom would just take him to Piggly Wiggly or Aldi.
Just drop him off behind it.
Well, you never know. Aldi has the deals.
Yeah. Come
Because-
out of there with a ton more floaties.
Yeah, because Aldi, they don't unpackage their goods.
Yeah.
So they save money. You go and you pilfer through boxes.
Oh yeah, you really do. It's a tiny little Costco.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right. Well, let's move on to
Let's.
a different kind of sexual satisfaction.
Yes. Bacon?
Not
Oh.
bacon.
Sorry. Still looking at that bacon floaty.
I know. I love a good bacon float. I love
Kind of want to
floats.
dress like an egg and just lie down on that bacon floaty.
Scrambled?
No, sunny side up.
Ooh, I like that. So, police in Florida, they're looking for this fella. He smuggled a ferret out in his shorts, and he put the ferret in front of his shorts near his penis.
Why do guys do that? This is like the.
Why do guys do that?
This like, wasn't there another story where someone stuffed a bunch of gerbils in his pants?
Is that a ferret in your pants?
It happens.
Well, yeah, guys just like eventually you hit some point in life where you need to stuff some kind of a rodent in your pants.
Midlife crisis.
It just comes up.
Midlife
You
crisis.
don't know when, but it'll come up, and when you know, you'll know.
Feifel goes cock.
Uh-huh.
Yep. Remember the Feifel goes west series?
Yeah.
Remember Feifel?
No.
Fievel. Oh my God. An American Tale.
An American Tale.
Fievel goes west.
There's no rats in America. That's all. Really a big deal for the kids growing up in the 80s and 90s.
Ah.
So security cameras captured the male suspect as he browsed the ferret section of the store. He fondles the ferret for quite some time. So he's fondling.
Fondles?
Yeah, he fondled it.
God.
And then the man said, "Oh yeah, ferret, you're pretty good. You're a good ferret.
Good ferret right here.
It's a solid Petland ferret."
So you what?
And then he shoved the ferret in his pants near his crotch. Why, you may ask?
Looks like he's packing.
Because it looks like his pee-pee.
It does look like his penis, and yes, he is just happy to see you.
Wow.
But the ferret cost $650.
Well, I guess that would be a reason to steal the ferret.
It's a lot of money for a ferret.
If you really wanted the ferret, I mean, what kind of fucking ferret was this? Was this like the ferret mogul of all ferrets? Why was he $650?
All I know is give this ferret a day off.
Indeed.
So, as he left the business, the man, he was seen on security cameras, and he held the crotch area of his shorts to support the ferret.
Yeah.
And then he walked past all the points of sale without paying.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, no one's gonna be able to tell that this is my dick.
Right. But then somebody was like, that was the guy that was fingering the ferret.
Yeah.
And now
Fondling.
Fondling and fingering. That's part of the fondle. And now he's walking out.
And hey, where's that ferret anyway?
Where is that ferret? Bend over and I'll show you.
In the possession of the Florida ferret fondler.
Indeed.
Wow.
So they recognized that the suspect was fleeing with the ferret, and then the Petland manager gave chase.
Oh.
Gave Chase Bank
Yeah.
what?
That didn't give Chase Bank anything, but he gave chase to the man.
Gotcha.
And then
That's a way to say he didn't catch him. I gave chase, though.
he tried,
Got it.
like my dog Jerii used to do, and still will do again.
And will do with more power than ever before.
He's going to be so mad.
It's going to be evolved.
Yeah, he will be. So the guy chased him, and he says, but he was unable to find him and unable to catch him, but he did get the man's license plate. Yes, it was described, Kyle, as a white work van with multiple ladders along the top.
I wasn't there.
Wow. Kyle, how do you feel about ferrets?
I like to fondle them. I mean, I didn't do. I've never seen one in my life.
Kyle, you drive a white work van. How do you feel about being associated with some of the worst human beings in history?
I know they took our windows,
They took your windows.
and then they take the kids. I don't do it though, but people do give me looks when I'm driving in mine.
Of course they do.
Yeah, you're in a white van.
Yes. So the ferret, it took an interesting investigation. The man was easy to find because he has a unique long mustache.
Oh.
And he was wearing blue Under Armour and a pair of shorts that had the Navy logo. So he's a Navyman, or at least supported the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So while an automated facial recognition system failed to identify him, there were clear surveillance images, and then that likely resulted in the apprehension of the ferret bandits. So the ferret, hopefully it's found a nice new ferret home, and it's just hanging out doing ferret shit.
Wow.
Well, hopefully the ferret has a nice therapist who can talk him through the trauma that he's just been through.
A therapist.
Ah.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, let's move on to in the world of men doing man stuff, because I want to hear your thoughts.
Okay.
Being big. Some people do have issues. Some people do have medical issues.
Yes.
Other people do not. And they
Yes.
need to, maybe they can lose weight.
Yes.
But there was a man who was 334 pounds, right? He's suing Walt Disney because he sustained a bunch of injuries while he was on a water slide.
Okay. And what kind of injuries are we talking here? Like rash, like burning rash?
He says that they were, quote, catastrophic.
Not catastrophic.
Yes, that's those are the bigger, some of the biggest injuries you can have.
Isn't it something? In my head, I imagine him just not moving on the slide. You know,
Well,
like the
yeah.
water's like rushing past him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then maybe he moves like a little bit, like, and then he stops again, and it's like, and it's just like not the slide experience that he was hoping for.
I definitely don't think he got the experience he was hoping for, but I don't think he was moving. I don't think he wasn't moving. I think he was moving.
Did he tumble?
So what happened was he's going down this water slide.
Oh my God, he tumbled.
He did tumble, and
He caught air.
he caught air, which is that's when he started breaking some ribs and things of that nature.
Worse than tumbling.
What?
So the name of the ride he was on was the Downhill Double Dipper. And it sounds like a candy. It sounds like a
Yeah.
fun ice cream treat.
It does.
That's what he does to his chips.
And it was at Disney's Blizzard Beach water park. So it's
Oh, I love Blizzard Beach.
You been there?
I have. It's really nice. Water parks are the shit.
Yeah, the old Typhoon Lagoon, Blizzard
Yeah.
Beach. It's all great.
I mean, water slides are the best. Hot water. I mean, hot sun, cold water. Kids piss. It's
A lot of
great.
piss, yeah.
It's great.
A lot of piss. There's a great South Park episode about that.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
piss.
Yeah.
It's not just
Pee.
it's not just kids piss.
Yeah.
It's
everyone's
mostly adult piss.
It's probably
It's-
mostly everyone's piss.
But everybody knows that. It's got to be at least 50-50, right? Piss and water.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I guess piss is water.
And then they just like hike up the chlorine to be like, it kind of cancels out, I think.
Yeah, there was a dude who did a little study, and you know that smell that we call pool, like the pool smell, where it's like it's chlorine. He says it's actually piss because he smelled just chlorine with no piss water, and then he was like, it doesn't smell, and then he put the piss in the chlorine water, and he's like, that's what it smells like.
He sounds, but no.
He's very smart.
Swish it around in his mouth too.
Yeah, it's
He's
curious.
very, very smart. So, Strickland, he weighed 334 pounds. And before that, he was told the weight limit is 300 pounds. But he said, no, I'm 300. He sucked it in.
He said, close enough.
I'm going to go. You can't tell me. I thought it was America.
Yeah.
So Strickland allegedly became momentarily airborne, and then he landed back on the water slide, and they say with force onto the hard plastic surface of the slide, and then he lost control. He's so funny and fat. He lost control of the inner tube he was riding on.
don't understand. 'Cause
My tube.
I just feel like,
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy caught it and he started fucking it.
oh my God.
Yeah. Someone's going to love this tube.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I just picture like a cartoon water slide, but it's one of the closed ones, and then you just see like the bumps of the fat guy just like kind of like tumbling all over it on the outside.
Yep.
And like, whoa, what's going on in there?
The lawsuit pins the blame on the water slide's design for exhilarating speeds.
That
So
sounds
it was
great.
exhilarating.
I don't know how he reached exhilarating speeds and also air. I feel like
I don't know.
I could imagine myself catching air,
Right.
Because you just toss me a little bit and I like just hit
Boom.
the wrong angle and poof, I'm flying.
You're gone.
I'm gone.
But I guess because you would think the weight would keep him down.
Yeah.
Kinetic energy, man.
Tell me about it, Kyle.
It makes you fly.
Does it?
The heavier
Does
you
it?
are, yeah. Mass, velocity, ooh. Good luck.
Did he
love
say
that.
mass and philosophy?
Mass
Velocity.
And
Oh, velocity.
Terminal
Yeah,
velocity.
Yeah, yeah.
Strickland, he says he suffered serious bodily injury and resulting in pain and suffering, disability, disfigurement, mental anguish.
Those last three he already had.
Yeah, those were all
They were already-
pre-existing.
Yeah, yeah.
He also had scarring. And then you know what else he says? He said, and loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life.
Whoa.
Join the fucking club, pal.
Yes, right? We should all sue. We can all sue.
Blizzard Beach, I'm coming for you.
I'm not having a good time here. What, at the park? No, just in life.
Just in general.
Yes, that's the thing. He said the loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life, and he still grapples.
Fucking crying.
He says he still grapples with that today.
Oh, cry me a water slide. What the fuck? No, that's not cool. I mean, did he not have any sense of I told you so-ness going on in his brain? Like any guilt at the end being like, well, I guess that 300-pound limit was maybe there for a reason. Like, a little
Sometimes,
bit.
whatever happened to just being so embarrassed you don't sue?
Seriously.
You know?
Yeah. I guess that's a woman thing.
I fell on the sidewalk out here 3 years ago, couldn't move my arms, didn't sue.
That's hilarious.
My dog was almost murdered. I'm not going to sue. I just don't, I don't go through the steps of suing.
Yeah. I don't got time for that.
I don't, even though technically we kind of do, but
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of time.
you know. So he says this was not safe. He says there was a safety hazard and that the water slide.
It was you.
Yeah.
You were the safety hazard.
Well, it's possible. It's possible. He says the water slide had a concealed trap, booby trap.
No, it didn't. Oh,
that's what he
my
says.
God.
There's a Looney Tunes trap door.
I don't know. I don't know.
What an asshole.
But he wants 50 grand.
Fuck this guy. Oh, my God.
He needs his 50K. It's not as much as one woman got, a Long Island mother. She sued the Typhoon Lagoon
Oof.
for $2 million.
Damn. Why?
Because she got scarred by the mammoth wave.
That I could see. That
So-
mammoth wave is no fucking joke.
That guy caused the mammoth wave.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Landed in the pool.
I mean, for 50K, you fly off a little inner tube, you get scraped up a little bit, you have no desire to live anymore. But you know what? For 50K, I'll take it.
Yeah,
would take that.
I think he's
Launch me off the
purposely
slide for that.
he's bidding low in an effort for them to be like, okay, we'll just pay it. But then they already recognize that and they're gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not gonna work.
Well,
I don't think that it should.
I think that they are going. I think they're going to have to pay him.
What?
Disney, they don't care. 50K for Disney?
Yeah, but they also have, their pride to uphold.
So you're saying I can go to any water slide and just somersault directly into the slide, just do everything I'm told not to fucking do. And then when I reach the bottom with injuries, I'm gonna be like, now I have a severe loss of enjoyment for life. Give me 50K.
I think that there are serial sewers out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you would have to offset the lawyer costs. So I don't know how much the lawyer would cost, but I think
Yeah.
if you have like an inside source with a lawyer
Yeah.
and you get some like, you split everything 50-50 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bet you could. If you really want to sue something, you can sue something.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
We're looking at this picture here, and this is maybe a 8-year-old child.
Right.
And she's almost hitting her elbows on the sides. I can't imagine
Yeah.
this fucking guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he shouldn't have been on there.
They must have been real greased
No.
up.
It's
They've been
hilarious.
flying off this thing.
God, can I pay them for that footage?
Yeah, I need to see that.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So it's fun. It is fun. Well, he can't. I don't have that much empathy because some things are meant for the kids.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
You know, I went to Universal Studios with my little brother, but he's all big now, and we couldn't go on most rides. And it's not like, what are you going to do? You can't go on most rides because you're an adult now.
Yeah.
We don't get to live in the Jerii size where you get to enjoy things forever and ever and ever. But I wasn't able to enjoy it ever since I was maybe 14, 15.
Yeah. Sad story. I was on a carousel the other day.
How was that?
It was fun. Although the kids are all looking at me like, hey, should you have that beer?
Oh, well, why not?
Well, you know.
What, when we went to the zoo?
Like the Gilgo Beach
Yeah.
Killer. Oh, you guys were having beer on the carousel?
Yeah, they allowed you to bring a beer on, but then they wouldn't allow me to sit with my son. We could sit with a beer, but I had to like stand off to the side and hold him physically on the
like he couldn't.
unicorn.
Yeah, he couldn't sit on the horse carousel with his son, but I could sit on the horse carousel with my beer.
Yeah,
Nah.
I could also hold my son holding a beer, and that was cool.
So Caden could hold the beer and you will hold the
He
son.
could have, but
Yeah.
I was also we were
As
both
long
holding
as
beers.
Kyle's not on the horse.
God almighty. All right, but a lot of rules.
Yeah,
Lots of rules.
Lots of rules.
but rules are there for a reason.
All right. Just lastly, to start the week off with an interesting story that I just found out about. Mexico, let's go. 2008.
No,
Why not?
What?
Why not?
I don't want to get my head cut off.
Well, it depends what part of Mexico.
Yeah,
So, there was a fight between emos and punks.
Oh my God.
It was in 2008. So this is a retro.
Oh, that sounds pretty intense. The emos and the punks in 2008, they had a platform.
They did. This is also known as the emo wars.
Wow.
This is all real. I was like, what the fuck?
Emo wars.
So this is an oldie but a goodie. So in 2008 in Mexico, emos and anti-emo groups, aka punks,
I'm crying.
they met up,
funny.
right? So the emo movement, apparently it was more serious in Mexico, apparently.
It was just emotional.
It was very emotional, and in many ways they create good music and cry it out and have fun with that.
You know?
It was influenced, obviously, heavy by, the U.S. and things of that nature. A lot of fashion, androgynous styles, skinny jeans, right? And it was very popular. However, there was another subculture, and this subculture identified as anti-emo or punk, and they also had some heavy metal ties. So the movement became mainstream in the country, mainly among teenagers and young adults. And then because of that, emo groups formed because they thought the emos were appropriating and imitating their subculture.
Wow.
So the punks were like, emos are dressing like us. You're taking our culture.
My culture's not your costume.
False. What's that called? Stolen valor.
Yeah.
Stolen valor.
I thought it was just called subgenres.
They stole it.
Okay.
So then there was harassment from anti-emo groups, and it escalated over time.
They're literally all on the same side. It's really stupid that they're fighting each other.
But they are not in this case in 2000.
Rocker on rocker crime.
Well, and perhaps now they have joined a coalition because they realize they've got a series of other people to go after.
I highly doubt that.
But they say that, so in the subculture, the punk subculture, they were calling for the assassination of all emos.
Assassination?
Of emos. They were calling to assassinate them.
You're going to make them cry even more, guys.
So, in Mexico City, the anti-emo group expelled emos from El Chopo Market, prompting them to regroup at a different place. So then in March of 2008, a group of emos was attacked in the capital city, alleging that the emos were attempting to expand and appropriate more zones in Mexico City. And then anti-emo groups were like, no, you can't come in here. So all of a sudden on social networks, people were like, oh, we're going to meet up. We're going to have a big old fight. And then police officers, they kind of controlled the mob a little bit, but the unrest lasted for hours. And you know what stopped it?
What?
A concert?
No. What stopped the great emo versus punk feud? The Hare Krishna.
What?
What?
The Hare Krishna movement intervened
Dude.
and diverted both the emos
my
and the
God.
punks and said, guys, what's wrong with you?
Oh, my God.
Isn't that something?
That is just the silliest thing ever. Is this a cartoon episode?
It's adorable, but also serious. Apparently, there was 800 people that were gathered. And the crowd assaulted 3 teenagers. They punched them and kicked them, and 28 people were arrested It's like a whole frickin' thing.
Wow.
Wow.
So be very careful. And there's a whole legacy. Emo groups held demonstrations in several cities requesting respect. They say, give us respect.
Or we'll cry.
Yes, but they were blocked by anti-emo groups. It's insane. So anyway, that happened, and I think all of these people are now old.
Yeah.
And they have to be like, what were you doing in 2008? They're like, I was there.
I was there doing the stupidest fight I could have ever chosen to fight. All the battles to pick. And this is the one you guys are gonna like just die on this hill?
And the reason I was brought up to date on this story was because as of this year, 2025, they did a peaceful commemorative march.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Were
And
there
none of
any-
them even listen to that music anymore.
like everyone's over it, but like were there any like lives like taken from this horrible
No,
battle?
just 3 kids kicked a bunch.
Just some broken hearts.
Yeah,
broken
for
hearts.
real.
And so they did a commemorative march concluding at the roundabout. And then you know what happened there? The participants staged a symbolic mock street fight.
No.
No, they
So they fake fought,
Okay, but
but
was
then they
it,
hugged.
But then was it to like the background music of My Chemical Romance, or was it to the background music of Black Flag? Because whoever was playing, that's who actually won.
That's who won.
Ah.
Is there a band that transcends both? Is there a band that is both emo and punk?
No, but I think that there's a band that they can all hate, which is Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, interesting. Why do you say that?
Well, I just think it's like they're a little close to punk, but not punk enough to be considered punk. They're also kind of emo, not emo enough to be considered emo.
Right.
Very much their
And they're
own
mainstream.
And they're mainstream.
Yeah.
They got all that money and stuff.
Pop rock.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting. All right. So you can go and tell people about the emo punk feud of 2008. It's officially been squashed, the beef, this year, 2025.
Well, thank God for that. That
Thank
was
God.
only like a years-long battle.
17 years.
17 years.
They held on to it for a long time.
Going to be in the textbooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. There's a full Wikipedia.
That's hilarious.
It's
I
amazing.
can't believe that.
It really is incredible.
There's always been these stupid wars between different genres. Back in Boston, they had the straight edge punk kids against like the regular punk kids. And the straight edges thought they were better because they didn't do drugs or alcohol, but they would
Right.
beat people to death.
Right.
Oh,
You smoking a
right.
cigarette? I'll fucking kill you before that cigarette does in 50
Right.
years.
That's hilarious.
That's why I liked that band Fugazi's music, some of it.
What?
But it's in Fugazi's the band. But they're a straight edge band, and I tried to go to one of their concerts, and I was like, this really sucks.
Put my X's on my head.
It was like church. It was more like church.
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah, I didn't like that. Anyway, any comments from the chat?
As far as transcending both genres, Jeff says Pixies, maybe?
Oh, Pixies, perhaps.
Ooh.
From Boston, Massachusetts.
Maybe.
Very good.
Here we go. Brittany, oh God. She's saying, Kyle drives a white van and your family's initials spell KKK. So much whiteness. But
that
I
is
would,
true.
I would say, it
And
doesn't
you did
say
the-
KKK, it says KK Kai. It's Kaylina, Caden, and Kyle.
Wow. Wow.
The fact that I know for a fact that you did that on purpose is upsetting.
What are you
That's what's
talking
upsetting.
about?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what's
did do
upsetting.
that, yeah.
And you guys demanded a K name.
You guys,
I did. I wanted to see.
you guys are my favorite KKK.
Yep. Well, you know what? You can't spell KKK without striking out, baby.
Hey.
It's a baseball reference.
Got it.
Okay, well, there we go. Fantastic. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. We got another great week ahead. Hail yourself. We'll talk to you
Yes.
soon. Bye.
Bye.